Welcome, Leo. It's July 2014. Dadhichi here with a synopsis of what's going on in the heavens for you right now. And it's quite intense. You know, the key words for the first aspect we see here, emotional blackmail, confrontation, subversive activities, all sounds pretty heavy. But what you'll find in your workplace, for example, is that type of energy which can undermine your success, your career satisfaction. You have to be on guard against people that would try to undermine you at this time. But that's not the only aspect in the heavens, and up till the 4th of July, I think that's the key one that you need to watch out for. Fortunately, you have Venus in the 11th house right now, a very lovely aspect, especially in its sextile relationship to Uranus and your ruling planet, the Sun, on the 7th and the 8th. So this gives a nice social sort of counteraction to all of that other manipulation we're talking about. And definitely a time when you can socially engage others and use your charm and your wit and those sort of social circumstances to really enjoy life. A rather difficult aspect on the 9th as well to Uranus. That I don't think is a bad one. It just indicates some rather sudden or unexpected events that I think, on balance with the other favourable aspects, will make the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th quite an interesting period for you indeed. We see Mercury moving into the 12th sector as well, so there's this heavy 12th house energy. And just for those of you that aren't aware, I don't want to make this too technical, the 12th house is really all about spiritual seeking. It's about generosity of spirit, a generosity of wealth and time. And so, for 2 or 3 weeks after this date, that happens on the 13th, you can expect yourself to be, I suppose, more generous with others. So we see those preceding aspects of the 11th house, that friendship aspect, now the 12th house aspect of Mercury, that all ties in. So very sociable, you're going to be giving a lot of your time to people. And around that date as well, we see another aspect to Mars in the 3rd house, which is the place of travels. So you could be quite active at that time, wanting to get out and about and mix things up a little bit. Work is in focus also leading up to the 14th, with the Sun in the 12th house in a favourable aspect to your career sector. Again, the 12th house indicates you're probably going to be working behind the scenes quite a bit, and you need to maybe collect a lot of that information before going public with it or before going to that important meeting that you've got planned. So a little bit of low-key, behind-the-scenes research and analysis seems to be what is in focus around the middle of the month. Jupiter, very important transit to your sun sign after the 16th, heralds a very important 12-month cycle commencing. Very, very lucky period for you, and one in which your fortunes, for the most part, should start to change. Now, when I say that date, a lot of people sort of ring me, Dadhichi, it's the 16th, nothing's happened. Well, I say, it's like, at what time does the sunset finish and night time begin? It's sort of a transitional period. Give it 1 or 2 months, but you'll definitely start to feel some changes occurring at that time. Around the 19th, Venus moves to the 12th house. Again, we're seeing that self-effacing, generous, spiritual component coming through again in your horoscope. Venus in the 12th is also known to cause a lot of expenditure. People having Venus in the 12th house at birth are usually very lavish with their money. They're spendthrifts. So during this next month or two, be very careful how you spend your money, because having Jupiter in the 1st house as well shows a bit of overconfidence, over-enthusiasm, and you're likely to maybe spend more than you anticipate. Saturn is in your 4th house. That's going to continue to be there for a while. The usual sorts of responsibilities associated with your family. There's a bit of a recapitulation, big word, just basically means going back over those first aspects we saw with the Sun to Pluto in the early part of the month, Mercury to Pluto exact on the 22nd, so leading up to the 22nd. These are the communications components of these subversive activities I talked about. And there are some other really key dates here that I think are well worth mentioning to you. We mentioned the 23rd, the sun moving into your sun sign. That's going to very much lift your physical energies. But around the 24th, we see the spiritual triangular aspect between Venus and Neptune from the 12th to the 8th house. That, apart from being spiritual, I think we can safely say that your visionary capabilities, your creativity too, may be very much sparked around this time. But we do see on the 26th that rather harrowing aspect or transit of Mars into the 4th sector of the Leo horoscope. That presents a bit of a problem, if you allow to, notwithstanding the fact that Mars is one of your better planets. That can and usually does bring in a bit of angst in the area of your domestic sphere, issues related to property, vehicles, so on and so forth. So after that date, towards the end of the month, please do take a bit of care and also maintain a bit of calm around the 28th when Venus moves into that exact aspect to Pluto. There could be some rather intense emotional situations going on. That Pluto energy coming back in again for the 3rd time, but this is maybe more on a personal level rather than the workplace scenarios that I mentioned earlier. Of course, you can come and find out more about your star sign on a daily, monthly and yearly basis at astrology.com.au. I look forward to your company there and here again next month. Take care. Bye-bye.